Okay, so let's continue with our Kafka series. So we have covered 5, 6 videos, and in the first video we have see why do we need Kafka? Like basically what is the problem statement in the industry? Like why they suddenly start using the Kafka, right? So we see that with some examples from the various different industry and with their architecture diagrams as well. Then we see okay what are the components in the Kafka and their architecture. Then to do the hands-on, we need to set up the Kafka cluster locally. So we set up the Kafka cluster using redpanda. Then if we just set up the using the redpanda, then we can't see in the UI. So to see in the graphical user interface, so we install the redpanda console. Then we see how to install the redpanda with 3 brokers because in the Kafka cluster it could be one broker or the multiple broker. So when we install the redpanda, so earlier we installed redpanda using like a single broker, and then we see okay how we can install using the 3 brokers. Okay, so now our Kafka cluster has been set up. So now actually we need to write our Python code, right? So to write our Python code, and we need to let me go back to bookmark. So if you see here, let me go to some diagram. Yeah, so this is our diagram. So we have like a producer, we have broker, and we have consumers. So our brokers has been ready. So because we already see in the previous video, our the cluster has been ready. So now we don't have the producer, now we don't have the consumer. So in this video, we will write some our producer application. Very basic application we are going to write. Very simple, like maybe few lines of code only in the starting phase, and go and as soon as we proceed in the video, we are going to make it more complex. So we are going to write our producer code, and then we will trying to send some message from the producer, and then we will see whether these messages are going to store into the Kafka cluster or not. All right. Okay, so now if we have to write our code in the Python. So to write our code in the Python, we have to use some libraries, right? So we should know which libraries are available. So mainly there are two Python libraries available if we have to work with Kafka, because we need that library which is going to interact with the Kafka cluster, right? So there are basically two libraries available. One is Confluent Kafka and one is Kafka Python. So you can use any library whatever you want, but in most of the industry, because it is cloud based and the Confluent Kafka library is like more fast, so most of the company use Confluent Kafka library, and we are also going to use the Confluent Kafka library, but syntax are same. So it could be like functions maybe like little bit different. Some is going to take dictionary, some is going to take a list. Then we can if we have to use even Kafka Python, we can just follow the documentation and write our code. All right, so we have to use the Confluent Kafka library, right? Okay, so we have to first install our Confluent Kafka library. So let's see where it is. Confluent Kafka, and hit enter. So okay, so I am searching on Docker Hub, which is wrong. I have to search on the PyPy Confluent Kafka. So you could see Confluent Kafka library is available, and if you see the description, Confluent Python client for Apache Kafka. Right, so it is a Python client, maybe in the for the Java user. So it could be some different library, right? So for other language, it could be some different library, but for the because we are going to write in Python. So for Python, it's Confluent Kafka, right? So we have to install that. So let's jump to the PyCharm. All right, so this is Docker Compose. Let me ignore that. So we are going to use the poetry package. So let me open that. So let me do poetry init to set up the poetry, and package name enter, version enter, description enter, author enter, license enter, compatible version. Okay. Would you like to add more interactive dependency? Yes. Add a leave blank or skip. Okay. 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 So our PyProject.toml should has been created. All right. So which is blank. Now we are going to write. We are going to poetry add Confluent Kafka. So basically we are using the virtual environment. So I am using the poetry. You can use any virtual environment, whatever you want. Even if you don't want to use the virtual environment, that is still okay. Right? Because we are focusing on here on Kafka, not on the our virtual environment. So you could see this package has been installed and the poetry log also has been created. Okay, so now it has been created. So let me activate my virtual environment. So poetry shell. So our virtual environment has been activated. So if you do pip list, so you could see we have only Confluent Kafka installed, and rest these are the three default package. Okay. Okay, now we have to write. So let me. Okay, so we have to write our code, but how to write our code we don't know, right? So we have to follow some documentation, and where is the documentation we also don't know. So what you have to do is just come to the pypy.org, search for the Confluent Kafka library, and there is a project link. So in the project link, click on the home page. So it is going to like route to your GitHub repository where this package exists, Confluent Kafka Python, and the README though the documentation is mentioned, but actual documentation you could see about Kafka. So this documentation is mentioned here. So Confluent Kafka API. So we are going to follow this documentation. So this is a configuration guide. So in this video we are using the client API, and we are going to use the producer. So click on the producer. All right, so now we are going to know, okay, what is like a producer and how we have to create, and what are the different functions we can use. Okay, so let's jump to the pie chart, and let's create a file called producer.py. Okay, now, so this is going to be, so we need to import our producer class from our Confluent Kafka package. So from Confluent Kafka import producer, and let me activate my virtual environment in PyCharm as well. Just a second. Interpreter settings, and so 3.11. So we have imported that. So let's create some class, producer class. We created this producer class, and let's create an init method. Why we created that init method? Because if we have to creating some class, then we have to we need some init method, right? Okay, so let's go to the our code. So in the producer class, so let me come to here, and if you find producer, you could see from Confluent Kafka, we have to import the producer, and then we need to create a like instance of the producer using the, because the producer should know where is the Kafka cluster, what is the URL of the Kafka cluster, what is the endpoint of the Kafka cluster, because it has to connect. So we have to follow this code, but we are arranging. You can directly copy paste this code, but we are arranging in a classes just to organize our code. So we have created like producer class, a definite. So we are going to take a bootstrap server. All right, and we will do self dot server is equal to bootstrap server. Okay, now what next? So what we have to do is we have to create a client, right? So we have to create a producer class client. So this is our producer class, and we have to create our client as well. So here, what we can do is, just a second. So we are initializing. This is our initialize code basically. Okay, so we took the bootstrap server. And why we took the bootstrap server? Because to initialize our, let me show you. To initialize our producer, we need this parameter, bootstrap server. Okay, so either you can hard code it or either you can like, so self dot producer is equal to producer class, and what argument is going to take and in which form. So let's go to the documentation. So it is going to take the argument in a form of a dictionary, right? So we have to take in a form of a dictionary. And what is the key? The key is bootstrap dot servers. So let's pass the key bootstrap dot servers. And what will be the value will be whatever the bootstrap server, whatever the URL which we are going to pass, it will come here. Okay, so we have uh we have created our init method. All right. Okay, so let me move this. And but we are creating a producer class. So what other method we need? So this is just to initialize our class. Now in the producer method, let's go to the documentation. So we created our client. So create a new producer instance, which is fine. And a minimum of a bootstrap server should be set, which we already set. And this is in the form of a dictionary, which and we already given it from a dictionary. Length parameter we don't need. Abort transaction we don't need. Begin transaction we don't need for the time being. Commit transaction, flush we are going to need, which we are going to use. List topics we are going to use maybe. Now we have the produce method. All right. So we have the produce method. What we are doing is I am just going to go through the documentation, or okay, what is the actual method we have to use. So which is going to produce message to the topic. So I have to use this. So let's create some other method. Def send message, and it is going to take the message. Okay. Now how it is going to send the message? What it will do is it is going to produce the message. So let me put in the try block. Alpha dot producer dot produce. Okay. And it is going to produce the message because we know in our if we come to the Kafka architecture. So producer connected with the broker when we initialize. So let me go to the code. So producer has connected with our broker. So bootstrap server is our basically cluster. So producer has connected with the broker. Now producer has to send the message. But we know when the producer send the message, it will go into the cluster, but within the cluster, it will go into the topic. So we have to pass some our topic here. So we are going to pass the topic on runtime as well. So we can pass one more parameter, self.topic is equal to topic. All right. So we have to pass our parameter self.topic. How I'm going to know? Just going to follow through the documentation. So topic. Even you can come here. So hopefully they have given, see, p dot produce. We have to produce the message, and in some topic there is a topic name, and then we have to pass our message. So they are encoding the message. Doesn't matter whether you encode or not. So currently we are not going to any kind of encoding or anything. We are just going to send the message. So here is the message. Now accept exception as E. So print E. Okay, so now we have sent the message. There is a one more method. So let's create a uh, commit method. So if you follow the documentation, there is a one method called flush. So what it will do, it will wait for all the message in the producer queue to be delivered. Because so if you see our architecture diagram, producer is going to continuously produce some message, is going to continuously produce some message. But there could be some messages will be which will be in the queue. Let's suppose producer producing 10 message, and first it's going to deliver first message, then it is going to deliver second message, then it's going to deliver third message, right? So how we are going to make sure if it produce 10 message, all the 10 message should be delivered. All right, so we have to flush, like wait for all the message in the producer queue to be delivered. So we have to use this flush method. It is not mandatory, but it is recommended. So we are going to do self dot producer dot flush. All right, so our producer code has been ready. Our producer code has been ready. So if we have to run it, so if all right, so our producer code has been ready. So we have to create a class. We have to create an object. p.producer. All right. And in this parameter, we have to pass the bootstrap server. We have to pass the topic. So let's bootstrap server and our bootstrap server. Okay, I will pass it later on. So I will pass it localhost 9092. It should be a string. How I'm going to know localhost 9092? So if you come here and if my open my Docker compose YAML, so it's not 19092 because we have changed the port. So it should be because it's the producer is the external client which is not Dockerized. So if it is the external client which is not external client, so it is going to use the advertised Kafka address. So if it is external, so whether it is external outside the Docker network or inside the Docker network, so it is outside the Docker network. So if it is outside the Docker network, it is going to use this address 19092. So let's give that. So let me give that localhost 19092. Now we have to pass the topic as well. So topic is equal to test topic. You can give any name. Okay. Now we have to produce the message. So we have to produce the message. So the message can be produced like a infinite number of times. So we will give a while true. All right. So while true. Then we will in a try block and we will take a input. Message is equal to input. Enter your message. Now we have the message. Now we have to send this message. So how to send this message? P dot send message and message. All right. So p dot send message. So it is going to continuously asking, okay, enter your message, enter your message, enter your message. All right. So accept. So if we interrupt our keyboard, then we are going to stop. Just pass. So our code has been ready and we use the send message, but we did not use the commit message. So we have to use. So once all the message has been sent, then we can use p dot commit. Okay, p dot send message, p dot commit. So our code has been ready. So, but it is not going to be work. Why? First, our cluster is not up. So we need to make our cluster up because otherwise it will fail. Okay, I am not able to find the this address localhost 19092. Second thing is this, even the cluster is up. So when the cluster is going to be up, the topic is not going to be automatically created. So we need to either manually create the topic, or if you want to create the topic using the code, then the that code should be present. So how to create the topic? So let's come to our documentation. So let me scroll up. So we have the producer client, we have the consumer client. So we know producer is that client which is going to deal with to send the message to our Kafka cluster, and consumer is that client which is going to consume the message from the Kafka cluster. But what is admin client? So that is we are going to use. So admin client is a client which is going to be used to manage these things, right? So to manage these things, this kind of operation, like if we want to create a topic, then how you are going to create a topic? So is it the producer is going to create a topic or the consumer is going to create a topic? So neither it's producer, neither it's consumer, it's a admin client. So let's jump to our code and let's create a one more file, admin.py. And so which library we need? From Confluent Kafka dot admin, we need admin client. So from Confluent Kafka dot admin, import admin client. Let's create a class admin. Let's create a init method, and init method also going to take a bootstrap server because admin client is also the external client. So that client also needs to be connect with the cluster because the topic is going to be created in the cluster. So we need to pass that bootstrap server. or you can just come here and not sure whether they have provided some documentation or not. Yeah, so they also provided here. So from confluent-kafka.admin import admin client. So we have to create an admin client like this bootstrap server.myproc. So same thing. So we are going to take so self dot bootstrap server is equal to bootstrap server self dot admin is equal to admin client, and it is going to take in the form of a dictionary. So bootstrap dot servers and then self dot bootstrap server. So we have created our like admin client, but okay. So now we have to create a topic. So let's come to here. So we have the like thing called create topics. We have a function called create topic. Even if you see the documentation, so there is a called source icon. You can click on it. You can go through the documentation here. So we have a function called create topics. So let's write that create topic. Okay, now we have to create a topic. But when we have to create it, because if we are going to run this admin client again and again, it is going to create a topic again and again. So before creating a topic, we have to check whether the topic has been exist or not, right? Whether the topic has been, if the topic doesn't exist, then only we have to create a topic. So we will create a one more function just to check whether the topic has been exist. So let's see. So we have the function called list topic. So def topic exists. So we are going to check and we have to pass the topic name and so self dot admin dot what is the function list topics. So list topics and it is going to take a list. It is going to take a list, requested metadata required matter from the request to provide the list topics. One request information has been provided. Okay, so now we have to pass our topic name. So let me pass the topic name. So it is going to return the all topics. Okay. Now we have to check whether our topic, I think we don't need to pass this thing. It is going to just list the topics because it could be none as well. Because if we specified it only requires the particular information about the topic. So we don't want, we just want, okay, list all the topics. So it is going to list all the topics. Now we want to know whether our topic exists in this. So if return topic in all topics, if our topic exists in all topics, but whether it is a stash, because in operation in Python is going to be run on the iterable. So whether it is iterable or not. So it is not an iterable. So if you come here, uh, list topics. So in the list topics, the return type is cluster metadata. So return type is cluster metadata, and cluster metadata has a field called topics, and which is a map of topics for return topic metadata. So it's called a topic. So we have to do topics dot key. So you can come to the official documentation. So you could see, so it is a cluster metadata. So it is a variable called topics, which is a kind of a dictionary, right? And we need the keys for all the topics, a map of the topics indexed by the topic name. So index is the topic name, right? So we have to like check in such a way, because if you do like if a topic return topic in all topics, then it's not going to be work, because it says our topic is the requested metadata. So we have to do like this. I think it should be keys. Okay, so now we have to check when we have to create a topic. If not topic exists, and we have to pass the topic here. If not, self.topic exists. Okay, so we are going to call the create topic function if the topic doesn't exist. So if it is going to return false, then we have to create a topic. So how to create a topic? So to create the topic, we have like one function called create topics. So create topics, and which is going to take a parameter of called new topics. So self dot admin dot create topic. So it is going to a parameter called new topics. And what is new topic? If you click on it, new topic is also we have to import. So from Kafka, from Confluent Kafka dot admin dot new topic. So we have to import. So let's import new topic. So we have to create a variable new topic. Okay. And also like you don't need to worry. You can like you can figure it out from here. Like see, they are also creating a topic using create topics, and create topics took some variable called new topics. So what is new topic? New topic is a type of a new topic, and which is a type of a like a list if it is multi, and it is going to take a topic and number of partition replication factor if you want, but we don't want, so we can take as a so, and it is going to take a topic. Now we have to pass our new topics. New topics, because it could be a list, so we have to pass a new topic list because we can create multiple topics. Okay, so it is going to create our topic, and we can print topic has been created. Which topic? Topic has been created. Else we can print topic already exists. Okay, so we have created that, but we have to use this functionality here because we are passing the topic, but before that we have to create a topic, right? So we will call our from import admin from admin, or just import admin. And so once the admin is going to be imported, so we have to we have to create a class, we have to create an object, and then we have to create a function called create topics. So admin is equal to admin dot admin and a dot create topics, or maybe from admin import admin, so that there is no need for this, and create topic, and we will going to pass the topic. All right. So now if when we are going to run our producer code, so what it is going to do is it is going to first create a topic, and if you sorry, and if you click if and it will going to create a topic, so it will come here, and it is going to check if the topic exists or not. If the topic exists, then it is not going to create. If the topic doesn't exist, then it is going to create, right? Now once then it is going to create a producer like object. So and in that it is going to ask, okay, can you enter your message? As soon as the user enter the message, then it is going to call the function send message, which is going to use the produce function functionality. Like we are just organizing our code, otherwise just it says just 2 3 lines of code, because we can directly use, okay, producer dot produce message, producer dot flash, just 2 lines of code and it's going to finish. But just to organize our code, we are going to use that, because slowly and slowly we are going to make this code more and more and bigger. So that's why like from the starting point we are organizing our code, right? So our code has been ready. So what next? We have to first our start our server. All right, so we have to first start our server. So we are going to start a single node, but this code is for like 3 node. Let me copy paste from the GitHub repo. So in one of the video, I already push the like file which has one node. So I just copy paste the code from here so that I can use this file. All right. So we already covered, so we will not going through again. So let's start. Docker compose up. So it is going to start my redpanda along with the redpanda console. Then we are going to see if we can produce the message. So cd. So our cluster has been started. So let's check that localhost 8080. So you could see our one broker has been started, and currently we don't have any topic. So we don't have any topic. We don't have any message. All right. So let's run our producer code. So Python space producer.py. Now what is being expected? So what it is being expected? So it is going to call our admin client, and it is going to check whether the topic has been exist. And so I think there is a one issue which we have missed, because when we are creating an admin client, so it is going to take a bootstrap server as well. And I think we forgot to pass the bootstrap server. So let me pass the bootstrap server as well, parameter. And in the producer class as well, we have to pass the bootstrap server and topic, because the init method is going to take those arguments. All right. So now let's hit enter. So admin client object has no attribute called create topic. Did you mean create topics? So let's see what we have done. Create. I think it's create topics. Let's go to our official documentation. Yeah, it's create topics instead of a create topic. So Python producer.py. So you could say test topic has been created. Test topic already exists. So something is wrong. Something is wrong. Our topic has been created though. And something is wrong here. And what actually is wrong is, because after, if we should have to put in some else condition. Otherwise, it is always going to print. So topic, print topic already exists, right? So let me start the code again. It's not going to even like interrupt it using Control C. CD OneDrive desktop projects learn Kafka Python, and then let's activate our poetry shell. Let's see what was the issue. Why it's not going to interrupt? While true, try enter your message. If we are not going to enter our message, we can. Okay, okay. So this block should be inside this. While true, and this should be this like this. Hopefully this is correct now. That's why like it was not taking. So let me run that Python producer.py. So you could say a topic already exists because we have not restarted our Panda cluster. So let's send the message. This is my first message. It is going to ask again. This is my second message. It is going to ask, this is my third message. Right now, I don't want to enter more message. So let me do Control C so that it should stop. And let me come here and let me refresh it. So here is my message. This is my first message. And this is my second message. This is my third message. So why these are the earlier message? Because like earlier, like our code was something wrong. and from 0 to 8 offset. So this was the message when our code was wrong. So that's why you could see. But when we have corrected the code, so now the message has been successfully published. So we have covered our we write our producer application, and we have covered a little bit about the admin client, and we have covered our producer application. Like, what was the issue? So basically we did a keyboard interrupted under the while block, which was wrong. It should be try. So try to send the message. If you don't want, then just interrupt the keyboard, right? So let's go through the code. So we created a producer class, and for the producer class we use the producer class method from the Confluent Kafka, and we have initialized that, and we have to pass the server, and we have to send the message. To send the message, we have the produce function, and to flush the message so that it makes sure all the message has been like sent, we have the flush method. Right. So we just call, okay, but enter any method. So to send multiple message, we use the while loop. If you want only one message, then you don't need to use the while loop. We use send message, and we use the commit. But along with that, so to send the message, the topic should be created. All right. So how to create the topic? So we have the admin client. So we created the different class called admin client. So to create the topics, we first check whether the topic exists or not. So we are checking whether the topic exists or not using the list topics. So if it is written true, then it's not going to be, it just said, okay, topic already exists. If it is going to return false, then it is going to create a topics. And to create a topic, it is going to take one more parameter, which is a type called new topic. And new topic also a class which we are going to import from the Confluent Kafka.admin. Right. So all this information, like what we did is we just follow this documentation. All right. So in the starting, like it will take time, but you have to follow all this documentation. Maybe in the GitHub document, or come here. I will provide all these links. All right. And you have to make sure your redpanda cluster has been up, and then you can just run like a Python producer.py application, and you can send the message, and it is going to send the messages. And even in the red panda console, you could see like assigning everything in your current message. So many things is going to be happen behind the scene. So basically, because when the message is going to be sent, so it is going to be like going some partition, and it is assigned to some offset. Right. So it is going to partition. By default partition is 0, and the offset should be in the incrementing order. All right. So that's it. That's the end of the video. So in the coming video, so we already created the producer application. In the coming video, we are going to create a consumer application, and which is going to consume the message which we have published. All right. So we are going to run our code side by side, because Kafka is used for the real time. All right. So we are in the two terminal, we are going to run our code. One in the first terminal, we are trying to run our producer application. In the second terminal, we are trying to run our consumer application. And we will see as soon as we are sending the message. So as soon as we send the message, it will go to the Kafka cluster. But immediately, whether the consumer is consuming or not, so we are going to see in the coming video. So that's it. That's the end of the video. Thank you.